What's going on, YouTube? Once again, it's your boy Swisher coming back at you with a follow-up video. Now, if you guys are watching this, please go check out the Calvin Johnson traded to Houston video. You know what I'm saying? There's really good content in there. There's really good knowledge going on in there. Like I said, the reason why I make that video is because, like I said, I look at the game a lot different from everybody else. Honestly, and I'm not saying this to toot my horn. I say this every time I say this because this is true facts. It's not, nothing personal that I'm just spitting out, to make myself look good or to promote myself. I actually take my time into studying the game of football and knowing what's going on as to why I can say this. But when it comes down to it, football is nothing but a giant chess game, and at the current moment of time, Bill Belichick is the best at playing it. And if I may say so myself, I would probably be able to rival him. And I get it. He's 65, I'm 24, but that just goes to show you how much time, I've been willing to put into, learning the game, learning the aspects, learning what you can and can't do, those things are like that. It's imperative, that I feel like Houston really should bust that trade, because with Will Fuller getting hurt, it would really make sense. And then on top of that, knowing that he's going to come back, you can really, protect him now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you have a number 2 option, you basically have 2 number 1 options, you know what I'm saying? You would have with Johnson and Hop, Now, the hiccups to that, I wonder how Nuke would handle, not necessarily being, I wouldn't say not being the man, because, he is the Texans offense. And he has been for a long time, But like I said, if we go out and we go and get a player of Calvin's caliber, his touchdowns may go down, but I can definitely see his yards probably going. It could increase or decrease slightly. My money is on they probably would increase, due to, just off of his ability to beat one-on-one coverage. But like I said, you got teams like Pittsburgh, New England, the Falcons, they figured this formula out, stay ahead of the curve, get young guys that are probably, they could be a number 2 or a number 3 somewhere else, and you bring them to your team, like I said, if Houston is really looking to, build on the future, like I said, this move needs to happen, because everything is predicated on how Savage plays. And guess what? In the game of football, you gotta, as a coach, you gotta be smart and be willing to put your players in the best position to win. As a GM, your job is to make sure that the coach has the players that he needs, that he could put in position to win. This part mostly falls on Rick Smith. You got to be willing to bust that trade. Yeah, you may give up a second rounder in 2019, but guess what? If Savage balls out and has one of those Aaron Rodgers, like years, a team that's desperate for a quarterback will probably shell out maybe a first and second round pick just to get, that guy. And also, not to mention, Savage isn't old, he'll probably be 26. That's really good, going into next year, What scares me on that, and this is why I say, Houston really needs to trade that now, because like I said, I look at all aspects, I'm not just looking at Savage and his situation. Remember, Garoppolo is going to be a free agent if the Patriots don't do something with him. So like I said, it's best to make that move now because you want to have leverage. You want to have, more opportunities to be able to trade and move players, because not only do you need to, we have a lot of aging players that are hurting us on the cap, like it or not. Dwayne Brown is one of those guys. Um, Brian Cushion is another. Both guys that are Pro Bowlers, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? And I respect the hell out of them. But do I think, going into this draft, had Houston, had Rick been smart, I would have just probably gave up a first and say a third. I would have did exactly what the Bears did because they didn't give up that much to really move up. A few spots they didn't. They still got their first round pick for next year. Go figure. You know what I'm saying? Had we been able to be, still sit at 25, guess who was still on the clock? Guess who was still on the board? Cam Robinson. You could have easily addressed your left tackle situation right then and there, but you went all in on Watson. Hey, more power to you. I support that move, you just gotta roll with it, but that's what I would have done had I been the GM, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you gotta be smart when it comes down to wheeling and dealing. This ain't Madden where you can just, bust off any kind of trade. It's really like 2K, you know what I'm saying, where the deal has to be perfect and it has to make sense, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, bringing in Johnson, like I said, he's got 2 or 3 years left on his deal. So that would help Savage this year, and that would also help Watson going forward. You know what I'm saying? The idea is it's like, and again, don't take this the wrong way. Don't read it into content. I'm sorry if kids end up watching this, but NFL teams are like guns. You got to be willing to reload if you want to keep shooting. Just plain and simple. Plain and simple. You want to keep shooting. You want to have a higher chance of hitting your mark. Keep bullets in your gun. And the target is a Super Bowl. And like I said, guys, the window is closing. It's slowly but surely closing. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be on Rick. If he wants to win that bad, we'll see this move happen. If not, he's confident in his system, which, like I said, it's not an impressive resume. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you get credit for going out and getting J.J. Watt and all these guys, but I'm a fan that calls it for what it is. It hasn't amounted to anything. It hasn't. So show some more balls, and go out and make this happen, Rick Smith, because we need Johnson just as bad as he needs us. If you want to contend for Super Bowls, not only for this year and to next year, go make this happen. If you want to contend with the Patriots and be able to play with them this year, because it's gonna be a lot harder this year than it was last year. I can guarantee you that. Now, granted, both teams will have players coming back from injuries here and there, but like I said, you got to be willing to stack the odds. You know what I'm saying? Because the Patriots have done that. They've heavily stacked the odds into their favor, and it is not fair. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to have a fighting chance, make the trade. It will benefit Savage. Now, it would also benefit, due to Calvin's contract. His contract, remember that. It would benefit Savage now and Watson later. Well, next year. You know what I'm saying? But those are my thoughts, you know what I'm saying? As if usual, like Southern Peace. I gave all my shout outs last time, but I'll do it again. Shout out to the Sauce Nation, El Sticky Layers, my boy Ray, my boy Reed, and everybody that fuck with me on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm out now.